Floyd! Floyd! I'll knock you out! He's sick, look at him.
Welcome to the motherfucking relay. We're covering today's top boxing news.
Okay, we'll start with this. What is turning out to be a bombshell bit of news: Floyd Mayweather is suing Showtime. I'm missing hundreds of millions of dollars. If you've been following this channel over the years, episodes of the relay, the many live streams, you'll know that this is something I forecasted ages ago, that all the while Floyd Mayweather has entrusted Al Haymon with his millions for whatever reason. In all likelihood, Al has misappropriated those millions. Floyd Mayweather says he made over $1 billion in earnings over his legendary career, but the 50-0 fighter claims all the money didn't make it to his bank account, and now he's suing Showtime, claiming they played a big role in his ex-manager screwing him out of hundreds of millions of dollars. In the lawsuit filed by Floyd in California and obtained by TMZ Sports, Mayweather says he's gunning to recover hundreds of millions of dollars in the misappropriated funds and damages resulting from a long-running and elaborate scheme of financial fraud, allegedly perpetrated by his longtime advisor, Al Haymon. And now he's claiming Haymon got substantial participation and aid from Showtime and former Showtime Sports president, Stephen Espinoza. Showtime and Espinoza are listed as defendants, while Haymon is not being sued, likely because Floyd doesn't have substantial evidence to go after him, so he's going after his acolytes. But he is saying outright that Haymon stole his money, so why isn't he suing him? Not enough evidence to make the case. In truth, not going after Haymon while saying that he's the one that took your money doesn't bode well for whatever case Floyd thinks he has. Floyd claims Haymon, with whom he worked with for over a decade, misappropriated a significant portion of his career earnings to the tune of a whopping $340 million. And he says he did so with the help of Showtime and Stephen Espinoza. Mayweather says the money is still missing and unaccounted for. Likely Haymon fucked it off already on bad investments and paying off his own debts. The other angle of it, going after Haymon and attempting to sue him, you may not re-encumber anything because he may have already spent all those millions of dollars. So you go after the people who have money, or at least the people that you think have money. In the suit, Mayweather references several of his biggest fights, including against Manny Pacquiao and Conor McGregor, alleging Showtime and Espinoza effectively delivered money owed to Floyd directly into Haymon's hands by sending accounts essentially controlled by Haymon. Now for the question, how would Haymon have gained control of said accounts in the first place? Why would your money be going to him instead of going to you? What arrangement did you reach during your time working with Al that this was all going on under your nose? Years later, after the undefeated boxer switched managers and his new team asked to see Showtime's books, which Floyd claims the network told him were lost in a flood, you believe them, or weren't accessible. How long did you let them give you that excuse? Mayweather is suing Showtime and Espinoza for aiding and abetting breach of fiduciary duty, civil conspiracy to commit fraud, conversion, and unjust enrichment. In addition to the $340 million, Mayweather is also seeking punitive damages. Reached for comment, Mayweather's attorney, Bobby Samini, predicted victory, saying, "Floyd is one of boxing's biggest pay-per-view draws. He generated hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue for Showtime. Mr. Mayweather now takes this fight to the courtroom to recover what he rightfully earned, retiring undefeated at 50-0. Mr. Mayweather will go the distance in the courtroom, just as he has in the ring." Good luck. I don't think Floyd has any concept of what he may or may not have agreed to that enabled this to happen to him. That $340 million of your dollars could go missing, and you're only now trying to account for it because they gave you boxing's equivalent of the dog ate my homework. And as an explanation. And how long did you accept it? The dog ate my $340 million. It got lost in the washing machine. Confirmation of a few things. Confirmation of what I already thought. Said as much here on the channel several times over the years. There was never any good reason for Al Haymon to be entrusted with what was Floyd Mayweather's money. You're his manager, not his banker. Why would you have access to his funds? It's gotta be because Floyd gave it to him. And if Floyd gave it to him, it's gotta be because Floyd trusted him. Now, why did Floyd trust him? Because Al's the one got him out of his, top-rank contract. Floyd Mayweather's mind, Al Haymon is the financial guru that led him to all of his millions, so he trusted him. Where Al Haymon already had a reputation as a grifter stemming from his time in the music industry, Floyd Mayweather was none the wiser. Not the businessman with the business savvy made himself out to be. I told you in so many videos, that was just the character. Tent him out to Ted DiBiase being the $1 million man in the WWF. Money Mayweather. That was just the character. In all actuality, Floyd Mayweather has the financial literacy of a grapefruit. That stuff about smart investments was just a sales pitch he got from Al Haymon himself. He was just repeating to all of you what was told to him by Al as Al fucked off his money. Like he fucked off Waddle and Reed's money and Fox's money and Showtime's money. I told you so many times. He's fucking off Floyd's money too. Oh, why didn't you listen? Not my subscribers, because they actually did. But everybody else's, who called me every name in the book but Adam for suggesting that Al Haymon was not the financial guru he was made out to be, and he was little more than just a smooth-talking grifter who transitioned from the music industry, where he developed a reputation as a con man, over to boxing, surrounded by con men, so it's easier to blend in, easier to work and pull off your con jobs. You want to know why? How an Al Haymon, what is so obviously a grifter, was hiding in plain sight from all of you, hiding from Floyd. It's because he talked up all the old familiar tropes. The black-owned business, Bob Arum's the old evil white guy. The usual stuff that galvanizes a particular demographic and hinders their critical thinking skills because it plays on their emotions. Once you're emotionally compromised, you're really not thinking straight. The us versus them angle works every single time. Tell me the one about Al Haymon taking care of his boxers again. With whose money? You know, it's entirely possible that after the Waddle and Reed money dried up, just a few years after the PBC's inception, what may have been keeping them afloat, at least in part, is Floyd's money. Floyd none the wiser. After they lost NBC and Fox. And after Showtime cut the budget. Now, you've been seeing them do shows on Amazon Prime for about 2 years now, except that Amazon isn't even giving them a budget like Fox was and Showtime. So where is the money to pay for those shows been coming from? Because it ain't cheap. $340 million missing. There's a lot of ways to spend that much money. You can fuck it off on bad investments, prostitutes, substance abuse. You can pay off your debts with it. You can keep your failed experiment afloat, at least for a little while, with $340 million. All the while, Floyd Mayweather is none the wiser, and it was just the other day in my previous video I detailed how the man is swimming in debt and he's likely fallen on hard times because there's no real reason for a man who made as much money as he did be so deep in the hole. He owes a lot of people money, and it's the kind of money that, given what he made, he should be able to cover. So Stephan Espinoza helped Al Haymon rob Floyd, and now he's going to be the fall guy because he's the one that Floyd's going after, him and Showtime. Though I don't know how much Showtime as a platform can be implicated by the actions of one. Their former sports president, remember, they got rid of him. Floyd and his attorneys are likely including them in this lawsuit because they figure Al Haymon's already fucked off the money. Stephan Espinoza doesn't have it. Maybe they can go after Showtime for some of theirs. I question whether or not any of this is going to work. Floyd might be out in the wilderness. He might be out in the cold, because he trusted the wrong people, and that's how this always happens. So the main takeaways are, what I've been telling you for years here on this channel about Al Haymon turned out to be true all along, and not only that, Floyd's in the hole. He's in the hole with a lot of people. That's why he wants to know where the rest of his money is, so that he can start paying off these debts. Because it never should have got this far, but it did. Floyd's business acumen is not what it was made out to be. That's just a character that they sold you to sell you his fights. The real brains of the operation was always Al Haymon, who Floyd Mayweather let do all his thinking for him, which is why he was so easy to trick. So easy to con. So here we are. Elsewhere in the world of boxing, Zuffa Boxing aims for Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua, Mexican Independence Day card, and more. I don't imagine Eddie Hearn's gonna be too happy about that. Las Vegas. Another week, another set of developments indicating Zuffa Boxing's strengthening position in the sport. Zuffa Boxing head Dana White said he anticipates adding shows beyond the 12 scheduled for this year as clarity came for the more major cards the new promotion will connect to this year, not only in its streaming deal with Paramount Plus, but Netflix too. So understand this, Zuffa Boxing already has more money behind it than any promotion, any promoter in the industry right now. Already. Just 2 shows into their endeavor within the boxing space. They've got WWE, they've got UFC, they've got Sella and Turkey El Sheikh, Paramount Plus, and now Netflix. All those forces combined, that conglomerate, there's very little that they can't do in the sport right now. There's a lot going on to rock the industry. New signings, more deals, new territories. White told reporters at his Zuffa 2 post-fight news conference, "I'm telling you guys, by the end of this year, it's gonna be impressive." Why should we believe him? Now, I've had more than one connoisseur of mixed martial arts in the UFC tell me that Dana is a bit of a blowhard, a bit of a bullshitter, so why should we believe him? Because Zuffa's not just his baby. It's not just his project or his money behind it. There are a lot of people behind this thing. And the rate at which you're seeing familiar faces from the industry pop up on the Zuffa Boxing side of things, there's reason enough to believe Dana might be telling the truth. White's push occurs while the old promotional guard confronts perilous times. Top Rank, which has failed to find a new network home since its ESPN deal expired in the summer, was left to stage its Saturday junior middleweight unification bout starring 23-year-old Puerto Rican Xander Zayas on a fast channel. And as Golden Boy works to extend its deal with DAZN, news came last week that promotional head Oscar De La Hoya is facing foreclosure on his downtown LA building that houses his headquarters. He's gonna have to get on OnlyFans to start paying his rent. "My boy is running out of money," White told an interviewer on Sunday. Zuffa, meanwhile, is actively in negotiations with several fighters, some of whom are fleeing the chaos while firming up plans for cards intending to stamp its first-year growth as a major success. In addition to being tied to former heavyweight champion Tyson Fury's April 11th comeback fight, Zuffa Boxing is aiming to offer the long-awaited Fury vs. Anthony Joshua bout later this year with Netflix, boxing scene has learned. Beyond that, Zuffa Boxing is planning a major Mexican Independence Day weekend card in the United States to complement Canelo Alvarez's return earlier that day on a card in Saudi. I don't imagine that Eddie Hearn or DAZN as a platform are all that happy that the other game in town are eyeing their talent at a time where DAZN is ramping up costs to existing subscribers for what's supposed to be their ultimate tier package. It's hardly ultimate if one of the biggest fights you could deliver ends up going somewhere else. It would seem that they've already lost Canelo Alvarez. This past Sunday's Paramount Plus card featured the return of former 140-pound champion Jose Rayo Valenzuela, posting a convincing triumph over Mexican countryman Diego Torres, and calling for a showdown with the Ring Magazine champion Shakur Stevenson, something White confirmed can happen with his new stable that will ultimately present Zuffa belts to the best fighters in each division. Shakur is a free agent, not tied to any particular promotional outfit, and given the kind of money that Zuffa has to throw at a fight, it's entirely possible we see Stevenson versus Rayo. Even if there's no grassroots demand for that fight, they have enough money to make it happen. You can have both belts, Dana White said. The card also included a riveting rally by Radovanje Kalajic from 2 knockdowns by former light heavyweight champion Oleksandr Vozdik to win by way of knockout. Yeah, I saw it. It was a good card. And a fight of the night showing by former WBC interim junior middleweight champion Sergey Boachuk. Great night. Everybody fought their asses off. We're putting on shows, said White, who also serves as UFC CEO president. My approach is to build it from the ground up. I knew what I was getting into. I've got a lot on my plate. Now it's time to eat. The action drew former world champions Regis Prograis and Caleb Plant to the apex, and White said the buzz about what Zuffa is doing is drawing interest from others.
What do you think? That former champions Regis Prograis and Caleb Plant were just there as fans? They were just there to see some fights? They go to a lot of places to see some fights.
Dana White said he expects to know the March 8th opponent for the cruiserweight champion Jai Opetaia this week after recently signing the unbeaten IBF champion. We've been meeting with and talking to people all week, he said. The developments happen while skeptics, including Matchroom Boxing head Eddie Hearn, have chided Zuffa's soft opening while confirming Hearn called him recently to meet. White didn't immediately respond.
Yeah, because now he knows you want to take his golden goose. You want to take Anthony Joshua from him.
It was kind of weird. The guy's been doing all these nutty interviews and then he wanted to get together and talk about, I don't know what, White said.
Joshua versus Fury, that's what.
It's not quite that Zuffa is dancing on other promoters' graves at this hour, but the promotion is off and running as the others are finding their relevance, shrinking. The team we have built here, they are unbelievable, White said. I like killers. I'm surrounded by absolute killers, and I love it. So how long do you think the PBC can hold on to what fighters they have when Zuffa's got all this money, all of these fight dates, all of these opportunities? They were willing to accommodate two fighters that were coming off of losses in Rayo Valenzuela and Sergey Boachuk. How many more opportunities like that can they present?
A lot, which is why you can expect to see that many more familiar faces and fighters migrating to Zuffa. Fighters from PBC, perhaps fighters from Top Rank, Golden Boy.
Though all of that has been mulled over already, and it's all small scale, let's be honest. Zuffa taking an interest in doing Fury versus Joshua, that's a big deal.
I already anticipated they would take in castaways and stragglers, but going after the big fish, I didn't figure they were going to do that.
I have to admit that I underestimated what Zuffa's reach and capacity would be upon its inception. These guys are a big deal, and with Netflix behind them now, pushing to land that fight.
It's exponentially bigger than it ever could be with a platform like that involved, which for us is actually a good thing, but not so good for DAZN and Eddie Hearn.
Sheer number of fighters that they are funneling to them doesn't leave a whole lot out there for everybody else, and given that DAZN,
it's more expensive than Paramount Plus. It's more expensive than Netflix. That doesn't bode well for them.
Are all of these pay-per-views that they plan on putting on that cost you extra on top of your subscription?
The real secret weapon here is that not only can Zuffa Boxing afford to finance these major fights, these really big fights, but they can make it affordable to you, more so than DAZN can.
Which is good for us, but not good for DAZN. It is giving boxing back to the people. You hear me say it all the time that Netflix is tantamount to a terrestrial network because it has a terrestrial network's reach in excess of 330 million subscribers. Anything you do on that platform is going to be bigger than if it were anywhere else.
DAZN can't compete with that, which is funny because Eddie's the one who said he wanted to take these guys on, that he wanted to compete.
The old saying goes, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it.